Hey everybody, this is Sarah Harnish. I'm a Young Living Diamond and I'm the author of the Game Plan book. Game Plan's a complete strategy guide to go from starter kit to silver, a whole 350 pages to train you inside out and upside down on all things Young Living. It comes with a companion Game Plan workbook, and you are in the right place if you want some intense training on how to stay laser focused on your business and stay focused on the things that are actually going to grow your business, right? The most important things in Young Living. This is day 5, so we're going to be covering chapters 9 and 10. If you've done boot camp with me before, you know this is in double time. So last time we just did 1 chapter a night. This time we're doing 2 chapters a night, which means every time we cover a chapter, you got to read the next 2 chapters and you got to do the 2 sets of worksheets that go with it. So when we're done tonight, you got to read chapter 9 and chapter 10. They're quick, short chapters, so you can have a great weekend in front of you, and then do the worksheets for chapter 9 and chapter 10. Now we are going to have boot camp tomorrow. We're going to do it tomorrow night on Saturday. Then I believe in resting on Sabbath, so we will not be meeting on Sunday. Then we're going to kick it back up again on Monday and do the last 6 days. So then if you're doing this with your teams, ignore everything I just said and you do whatever your leader just told you and how they're choosing to use the videos. So we've had some people do 1 video a week with their teams. Some of them done 3 videos a week. Some of them powerhouse through it and do 12 straight through. How you do it doesn't matter. The fact is that you finish it, right? That you go all the way to the end. And we got a little surprise for those of you guys that actually do finish boot camp. I'm kind of excited about it. So this is day 5. We're going to talk about the anatomy of a successful class and what a class looks like on the inside. Maybe you're brand new to Young Living and you never taught a class before, right? I mean, it's a completely foreign concept to you. It's very scary. The good news is if you can read 3 pages, you can do this. I literally got to Diamond by reading 3 pages. You guys have been very gracious in your reviews telling me that I make it very simple. I didn't do it hard because I didn't have any training. I didn't know how to do a complicated network marketing business, and I didn't know anything about aromatherapy. So I really couldn't make it harder than that. I was just a homeschool mom from upstate New York trying to make ends meet, and I really wanted to get my oils for free. All right, that was the place that I started at. So maybe you're in that same place. You just want to get them for free. You're really not sure how to be able to afford them. Hey, if it goes to a diamond ship, that's awesome. Royal Crown, you're set for life, and so are like 17 generations after you, right? So you're in it to win it, but you're learning alongside, right? You're learning alongside. So tonight we're going to cover 2 topics. You guys are a little bit fast for me. Hold up, I'll get to the oil tonight. Don't worry, that's my second sentence on this page. The 2 topics we're covering, chapters 9 and 10, anatomy of a successful class, so what it looks like, and then the follow-up system, the Oilability follow-up system. Oilability is the name of my team, but I'm also Team Young Living. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this class. I really think that by the time you hit Diamond, you're everybody's team. All right, one of my favorite things about convention is seeing Royal Crown Diamonds, and Diamonds standing against a wall with a star or a distributor that isn't even on their team and just pouring into them. And that really is the spirit of Young Living. It is Team Young Living. We're all in it to help each other, right? Okay, oil of the night. This is a weird one, and this probably isn't one that you guys would have guessed that I would have picked for tonight, but I have a reason for it. I've got a very, very strong reason for this oil. You might think if I'm training you how to teach classes that I am going to give you brain oils, right? Like maybe some brain power or a little rosemary or maybe some clarity, right? Like any of that would be really, really good for a little brain support. Tonight, I'm going to give you abundance. Abundance oil is our oil of the evening. Why? Because this is the night that you're trained to do hard things, right? You only do them when you have a vision of where you want to go, firmly implanted in your head. You got to focus on your diamond ship. You got to focus on your freedom. You got to focus on willable income. You got to focus on whatever the desires of your heart are, more time with your spouse, being able to take care of your body, being able to be home with your babies and not dropping them off at a daycare every day. Like whatever your why is, that's got to be right here. And usually that requires visions and focus of abundance, right? Block everything else out and just focus in the direction of where you're going. And then teach and pick up the phone and build relationships and follow up because it's worth it. This is worth it, right? You guys know where it goes. You've seen the income disclosure guide. Now you got to get out there and you got to go fight for it. Got to go fight for it. So how to teach a class. We spent all night last night talking about how to get people to listen to you. And it really comes down to just two very simple skills. Number one, listening. So you ask a leading question, and then you're just quiet and you let them go. And then number two, the art of the relationship, meeting their need, right? Being comfortable to offer an oil. And maybe that doesn't happen the first conversation. You got to be okay with that. You just continue going out there and meet the need, meet the need, meet the need, meet the need. There's going to be a point where that flips around and they say, you know, I really want to learn a little bit more about this. Right? Tell me a little bit more. I'm liking what I've seen so far. Take it a step further for me. Do give me some training. And you say, you know what? I'm here for you. I got you. That's why I do what I do, because I believe in chemical-free living, and I believe in protecting your family. I believe in protecting the threshold of the door into your home, right? Protecting the four walls of your home. And so let's do this together. You come onto my class. I'm going to train you myself and make sure that you are confident and you fall in love with these things just like I did. So how to teach a class. Once you master that art of the relationship, then it's not so hard to fill classes. So you got them inside your class. Maybe it's one person, maybe it's 15 people. You know what? The size of the class really doesn't matter. What matters more is consistency and continually teaching, not just building relationship with one person a month. It's going to take a really long time to get to silver when you're that inconsistent with your business, right? You need to be building relationships every day and holding a class every single week. Every single week. So we're going to talk about when you open the door and those people come in your house, what does the class look like? What is it for you, It's how to teach. So word teach means something different to thousands of people. And I want to say something that's really, really important here. Really important. All right. Your definition of teaching may not be the same as my definition of teaching. And that's okay as long as it's duplicatable. It's got to be duplicatable, okay? So if you're teaching via blog and you get results with your WordPress blog, then man, you run for that. And you keep doing the same things you were doing that got results. If you get results by sitting on a couch and grabbing 3 pieces of paper and reading to 2 people on the other couch, then you keep doing that until you get to diamond. If you get results by standing at a vendor event all day long and having flip kits on your table and a couple of people walk out of them before the end of the day, you just got kit sales, right? You just keep doing that until you get to diamond. How you share is not as important as that you share. Okay, do you hear my heart on that? I don't want to put down any way of sharing because there really is no way that's wrong. We've got diamonds that are built solely on Instagram, diamonds that are social media whizzes, diamonds that have done the entire thing on horseback, handing out cassette tapes, diamonds that have taught by literally just one person at a time, and it took them 14 years to get to diamond. Heck, diamond's diamond, y'all. Diamond's diamond. It's $39,000 a month. It's worth it. Who cares if you build it with one relationship at a time? Who cares if you can't stand in front of 50 people at one time? It doesn't matter. The thing is that whatever way gets you results, you keep doing it. And also, if you don't have expertise in a certain area, you don't pursue it. If you've never written a blog in your life, there's a skill to blog writing. Like you got to understand WordPress. You got to understand you have to have some basic technical aptitude. You got to understand marketing, when to do posts, how to write in a way that's engaging, that draws people in. If you're not a gifted writer, maybe blogging isn't the way to build your business. If you've never blogged in your life, that's probably not the way to do it. You know, maybe you're really introverted, so you think the only way you're going to build your business is online. But maybe you have no skills at all when it comes to Facebook Lives, right? And there's really only 2 skills. Have a really good light in your face, smile in the light, and bullet point a couple things you're going to say so you sound knowledgeable. That's it. Know you're out. Know you're out. If you can master those couple things, you can have a killer Facebook Live, right? But maybe you're just not good at that. So you know what? If you're introverted and you don't have any skills online, then just build one relationship at a time, because you can talk to the audience of one. You don't have to only build online because you don't like talking to people in person. You just don't talk to a lot of people in person. So you got to focus on areas that you're actually good at. And if you don't know what you're good at, and you don't think you're good at anything, then grab the script and sit on a couch and read the script. That's how I built my diamond ship. I didn't have any bells and whistles. I just read the script 288 times. 289 we hit diamond. It's the same script that you've got. Okay, same script in the back of the game plan book. It's simple. It's just simple, right? So don't go chasing things you don't know how to do. That would be my advice to you. And everything that you're doing, you got to make sure people can copy it. You got to make sure people can copy what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to scare all your leaders away. You're going to build this organization on your own shoulders. Maybe you're really good at follow-up, and so all those zeros turn into essential rewards, but not a single leader is copying what you're doing. Then it's time to take a look back and say, what am I doing? How am I teaching that I'm scaring everybody away, right? There are a lot of introverted diamonds. Matter of fact, I would say most of the diamonds are introverted, most of them. So, just keep your head up. It doesn't matter whether you're introverted or extroverted. You just got to love people. If you love people, then you can build this, right? You can build it. How fast you build it doesn't matter. $39,000 a month is $39,000 a month, right? Who cares if it takes you 20 years? Man, I work at the dollar store 20 years. If I knew I could make $39,000 a month, right? I'd keep doing it. Keep doing it. So, all right. So those are my tips. So am I putting down a certain way of teaching? Absolutely not. I am smart enough to know that there is more than one way to get from point A to point B. And the diamonds have done it tons of different ways. Tons of different ways, right? It doesn't matter how you do it. Whichever way gets you results, you just keep doing that until you get to diamond. Don't just jump ship because you think somebody else's way is working faster. If you're out there and you're getting results by sitting on a couch and reading a script, then sit on a couch and read a script till you get to diamond. Don't go try to learn Instagram. Don't go try to, do vendor events when whatever. If you're good at one thing, then stick with it until you get there. Don't keep looking at the grass being greener on the other side. All right. So what are some examples of different types of classes? Large classes, I'm talking 50, 100 people. Small classes, 5 on your couch, 3 on your couch, one-on-ones. Lunch and learn, where you literally talk to the people in the cubicles next to you. A connection class for business owners. So maybe you go talk to your chiropractor, your massage therapist, the lady does your facials, the bulk food store owner, your natural dentist, your naturopath, and you teach classes in their office. Speed oiling is when you set up several different stations and you have a couple different people stand at different stations and everybody talks for a couple minutes about essential oils. Lunch and learn, sip and sniff, usually Ningxia based classes, right? Or vitality oils in some type of a drink, and then they smell the starter kit. Simple swap, we do simple swap training in Fearless, which I'll talk about. Make and take, now I'm not against a make and take, provided you have a 101 class in it, and the make and take items only come from Young Living. So they have a DIY kit with all the labels, use it. Like your leaders can copy that. Now, if you get online and you order from 6 different sites and you go to Hobby Lobby and you get little chalkboard signs and you draw them with chalkboard marker, and then you get these nice little jars from a different site and you get all your base oils from a different site and all that, your leaders can't copy that. Okay, they're not going to dump the money into it and they're not going to copy it. But if you really want to do a make and take, then just get into the virtual office and order the DIY kit. Your leaders can copy that. Order the Thieves Bucket. It's got a recipe book in it. Your leaders can copy that. Okay, but if you go out and you drop $200 on supplies, you're scaring all your leaders away. Stop. Stop doing that. That's not duplicatable. Not duplicatable. So the other thing I want to tell you is teach with the right ratios. You should be teaching 3 101 classes to every specialty class. Why? The 101 drives to the starter kit. All right, 3 101s to every specialty. So 101, 101, 101, oils and emotions. 101, 101, 101, oils of the Bible. 101, 101, 101, ULA class. I wrote an ULA class. You know that, right? I just released it. It's right here. So on my website, it's called Balance. So 101, 101, 101 first, because you always want to spend 80% of your time prospecting, bringing new people in, even if you're a diamond. You got to be out there prospecting, right? And the 101 funnels to the starter kit. So how do you do a class? Super easy. Take everything in your living room and throw it in the closet. Shut the door, all right? Get a diffuser going. Grab your script. Sit on the couch and read the script. I actually made a PowerPoint that matches the script. We just updated it and it's not up there yet, but it should be up by the end of the week. You can use the PowerPoint if you want because that's duplicatable. It's on my website, oilabilityteam.com, and it's free. So if you're a visual learner and you really want that, that's not going to scare your leaders away because it's like no hassle. Then end with a strong close. There are 2 closing scripts in the back of Game Plan, and have a laptop set up where they can sign up. End of class. That's it. Pass around the starter kit. That's really important. Get the oils up their nose. Even if your bottles are empty, pass around the starter kit. So here's things that I don't have at my classes. Folders with 40 pages of photocopied stuff. You guys are asking me for all these specialty classes. I'm actually working on a script book right now. I've written 45 different scripts off of different things in the Young Living Virtual Office. I'll release that soon. I'm working on it. But I really want you to stay focused on the 101. So even when you open that script book, the first script's going to be the 101. And I'm going to say, teach us 3 times, and then you can teach a specialty class, right? Specialty classes are for people to get on essential rewards. You want to train them in other areas of oiling. But 80% of your time's got to be spent prospecting, or you're not going to see that OGV spike. So stuff I don't have at my classes. Folders with photocopied material. Why? Your leaders are like, okay, I got to go find all that. I got to print it off the internet. I got to go to Staples. I got to copy, 60 pages per folder times 10 people. I got to go buy folders. Those are down at Walmart because I'm not paying 32 cents per folder at Staples, right? And I got to get it back here. I got to collate it all, get it all in the folders, and sit down, hand it all out when they come out. And what's it doing? It's scaring the tar out of the people walking in the front door who just want to make sure their teenagers stop stinking. They don't want to know about the 5,000 VitaFlex points. They're overloaded. Okay, so don't do that. You're scaring your leaders away. Having 20 books on the table that they can go look at, 15 different forms of desk references and oils and emotions and oils of the Bible and all that. Gosh, guys, you're overloading your new people. Don't do that. All right, don't do that. Zytoscans. I love Zytoscans. Love them, but I don't do them at my first class because you're going to scare away your potential leaders that think they need to drop money on a Zyto machine and pay for the toner and pay for the paper. So I don't do it. I'll do it at rallies. I'll do it at my leaders retreats. I'll do it at specialty classes, but I don't do it at the 101 because I don't want to scare my business builders away. They're going to look at your setup and they're going to copy everything you do, so don't do that. Okay, don't do that. Make and takes. I'm not a huge advocate of make and takes because 70% of people never buy the oils and they never make the product again. 70%. So you got 10 people in the class, only 3 are going to do anything with it, right? That's not the fastest point from A to B. I want 10 people to do something with it, not 3. So I don't do make and takes. I really don't believe in them. But many of you guys might be blue personalities and it's the way you build your business. So if you do the DIY kit. And make sure you keep it super, super, super simple. Always have a 101 in the middle of the class, right? Poster boards with a bunch of science all over it and photocopied things and neuroauricular points and all the history of the farms and seed to seal and all that, and these big poster boards all the way down. People look at that and say, man, would that take you like 5-6 hours to put that together? They don't have the time to do that. So what's happening? You're scaring your leaders away. Don't do that when they come in. Overwhelming, not duplicatable. So you can do the same class format where you read the script, you pass around the oils, you have a strong close, have a place for them to sign, right? Hide everything in the closet. You can do that in just about any location. Online, one-on-one, lunch and learn. You could just use the same system. I mean, I have taught that class in funeral homes while they were embalming people on the other side of the wall. I have taught it with one-on-ones. I've taught it in corporate offices. I've taught it in churches and Ys and senior centers and fire halls. And I've taught it in the park. I've taught it next to slides. I've taught it in daycares before. I've taught the same script all over the United States. It works, right? It works. You don't need to be in a certain place. I've taught it online. I've done the script on Facebook. I've done the script on Instagram. So just take every paragraph, break it out, and do it how you're going to do it. Just read the script, pass around the kit, have a strong close, tell them how to sign. That's it. That's the anatomy of a class, all right? Also, don't be the expert. Don't list all the titles after your name because you're scaring away your leaders. I don't care if you're a naturopath doctor. You still can't say stuff about the oils, right? You can't because you're an extension of Young Living Corporate, so what you say, they say. So, you know what? You don't need all the titles after your name. Don't talk about the certifications you went for or the raindrop training you've had or any of that kind of stuff because what's happening, you're scaring away your leaders. They think they got to go get all the titles to be able to teach a class. Do you want your leaders going for a year's worth of aromatherapy certifications before they grab 3 pieces of paper, sit on a couch, and read them? Right? Do you want them going for all that? You're going to cost yourself so much time to rank up if all your leaders are going for aromatherapy certifications. So just read the paper. That's it. You don't need all the titles. Don't do that. Don't do that, okay? Honestly, Sue, she says, I do a poster board for the Young Living Foundation. Just give them the link. Just give them the link. Or bring it up on your computer and show it to them and say, hey, go check this out when you get home. I wouldn't do a lot, that is assembled because your leaders think they have to do it. They think they have to copy it. So let's talk about your clothes just for a second here. And I'm a frugal mom. I like my stuff super, super cheap, right? And the starter kit's where I began. It's $160. It's half off. The retail's over $315. You get a diffuser, 11 bottles of oil. I like stuff half off. It's the only thing on Young Living site that's half off. It's where I started my journey. It's where I'd recommend you start your journey. This is the package I would recommend for you. This gives me a big playground where I can really train you how to use these things. So does that sound salesy? Because that's what I tell everybody who walks in my door. All right. You don't have to come off as a salesperson with a sales pitch. You just say, listen, I'm a mom. You're a mom. I like to save you money. This is how you save money, right? Get the script. Or get the kit. Don't order every single one of these things individually. Just get the kit. That's the cheapest way of doing it. All right. So just be what they're looking for. Be what they're looking for. The goal is to educate, build relationships, and point them to the kit. If you can do those three things, you've had a successful class, right? Educate, build relationships, point them to the kit. All right, chapter 10 is following up. Let's see if I can do follow-up chapter in like 3 minutes. Consistent follow-up is the key to a successful business and the residual income that will bring true financial freedom to you. I'm gonna repeat that, all right? Consistent follow-up is the key to a successful business and the residual income that's going to bring true financial freedom for you. And follow-up can take many forms, but I recommend in-person contact. So either a phone call, a Facebook video chat, an in-person talk with them, something where they can't shut you out. I don't leave voicemail messages 6 times and tell them to call me back. When you touch base, you're going to come across 3 different types of people. The first one says, I'm really not interested in what you have to offer. Sorry, please stop contacting me. And we're always afraid that every person's going to be that person. They're really not. Most people don't have the boldness to say those things to you. So don't stress about that. That's only maybe 2 or 3 of the people out of your 10-person class. So kick the dust off your feet. Don't bother them again. Person number 2, I do want the kit, but I can't get it right now, right? I can't get it right now. And so usually they're saying, I can't afford it. And what they're really saying is, I don't know I need it. I don't know I need it. So my next question is, if you could wake up tomorrow without one frustration in your life, maybe a health issue, maybe an emotional issue, something going on in your life, tell me what that would be. And then you meet them in that place, right? Show them that they need it. Build the relationships with them, right? I can't afford it, translate that in your mind to, I don't know I need it. And then meet that need. And then the third person, so that you got to build a relationship before they're going to jump. The third person is, oh yeah, I meant to do it while I was at class and I had to run out and get junior to soccer. Please help me sign up. And then they get it right now. They just get on and they get it right now. And so those are the ones that are like, hello, this is why I do follow-up, right? This is how I do follow-up. So I want you to know, the person that got me to sign up had to call me for 7 weeks. 7 every single week. I told her, yeah, I want it, but not right now. Yeah, I want it, but not yet. She called me back every single week because the average person can only say no 7 times. It took me 6 times because on number 7, I did say yes. And she's super happy. She's got a diamond signed underneath her, right? You never know who the next person is you're going to be signing up underneath. You have no idea. Could become this on fire, super passionate, crazy, happy oiler. Right? Crazy happy oiler. So consistency is the key though. If you've taken a look inside and peeked ahead a little bit at this chapter 10, I'm going to show you the story of 2 virtual offices, right? Here's virtual office 1 and virtual office 2. You see the difference between those? Number 1 is a person with no consistency. They work their business 2 hours a month. They teach a class a month. Maybe a month they take off, right? That's why you see these big peaks and valleys. The lower one is the person who consistently does their business all the time, right? They're always committing at least 2 hours a week. They're doing follow-up with the people that came to class. That's the difference between the two. Those are snapshots right out of my virtual office. I'm taking and snapshots from people on my team because I want to show you the difference between what consistency looks like and what it doesn't look like, okay? I will tell you when I'm doing follow-up, for those that don't have the kit, I just work on building that relationship with them, meeting them where they are, finding out what their needs are. Now, what about the people that we call one kit wonders? The ones that get the kit and then they turn into a zero and they never order anything ever again, right? Ever again. Fearless. All right, this is my secret weapon for essential rewards. This little ditty right here. I wrote it after a gold on my team told me she'd only opened 3 bottles in her starter kit. And the others she had never opened because she built her entire team on Young Living infused products. So Thieves Cleaner, Savvy, deodorant, shampoo, all that. She didn't know what the oils did. And as an aromatherapist, it ripped my heart out and stomped on it on the ground. I was broken that she worked for a $1.5 billion company and didn't know that there was stress away underneath everything in the starter kit, right? So this is my entire story of going chemical free. It's how I cured 24 years of migraines and brain bleeds. I was at high risk for catastrophic stroke, and I completely annihilated them by going gluten, sugar, and dairy free 6 years ago, and how I became the gatekeeper of my home and looked at everything with scrutiny. I was the one that didn't have a hope. I was the one that wasn't supposed to live. I was 30. My kids were 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. They told me I wasn't going to live. I was on a plethora of medications, 6 of them. I took them every 2 hours. They were destroying my liver. They were destroying my heart. And it's the entire story of how I got out of that. I'm not on anything. I haven't been on anything in 6 years, and I haven't had even a pang of a migraine headache in 6 years. And it was total lifestyle change. Before oils. Yes, I can say the word cured because it was pre-oils. But it set the precedent for me sitting there going, wait a second. This is how I eat. And I'm using bright blue dish soap on my counter. So I'm pouring dyes all over my dishes and then letting my kids eat off of them. And I'm spraying chemical cleaner on my butcher block that I can smell 3 days later that says poison on the outside of it. And so this is the standard for food in my house, and this is the standard for everything else. And that's what led me to oils. Train the lifestyle, don't train the starter kit. Okay? Train the lifestyle, don't train the starter kit. So that is what Fearless does. Fearless is a powerhouse. I mean, this book has been out for almost a year. It's still in the top 5 on Amazon. It's just a beast because it goes through the why of oiling. It explains why the lifestyle matters, why you need to be swapping things out. And then I go through the starter kit. I do some basic aromatherapy training. And then I take them through 10 challenges, and they don't even know that they're getting challenged. I just say, listen, accept these 10 challenges, and you're really, really going to be well on your way to having a lot of basic aromatherapy knowledge. And so, like little things, like if you have redness on your skin, what do? You use a carrier oil. Well, they may not have known about carrier oil. So I want you to get on the virtual office, order some V6, put it in 3 different roll-ons, and then I want you to put a roll-on in your purse, one in your car, in your glove box, one in your kitchen cabinet. And if you see any redness, you just put that little sucker on top of that redness, and that's how you deal with that, right? So there's 10 challenges teaching them basic aromatherapy. Then we drive really hard to essential rewards, and then train them in the simple swap. So maybe they're really overwhelmed. We take it room by room. The laundry room. Where's the poison in your kitchen? Where's the poison in your supplement cabinet? Where's the poisons in your cleaning closet? And we go through room by room. I give them alternatives to use room by room, and we give them the numbers so they can actually get on and order it right in their virtual office. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And then when I hand this little book out, we also have a printable online that's free. It looks like this. This is all 10 challenges. One of them is 30 days of continuous diffuser use. The first 11 days are the 11 oils of the starter kit. So we're just training them how to get that thing running. You're building habits into your brand new distributors. They don't even know. But they know that when they go plug their plug-in the wall, they're going to get a headache from it, and they don't from their diffuser. They're going to be making their own blends. They're going to be getting in the virtual office, watching all of the getting started tabs. Yeah. So this book's amazing. Then the way I use this with my team is when they get a kit, I gift them Fearless, I print the calendar and I get it in the mail and I say, listen, I want to invest back in you because I believe in you. So read the book. It's a 2-hour read. It's going to give you basic aromatherapy training and the starter kit and explain the lifestyle to you. Accept the 10 challenges. Fill out your calendar. Stick it on your fridge. Fill it out as you're doing the challenges. Send me a screenshot and I will gift you $25 off your first Essential Rewards order. I'm going to gift it back to you because I believe in the lifestyle so much that I want to give you back what you've given me, right? I believe in you. So if you're looking for these tools, they're on our website. If you go to oilabilityteam.com, You're going to go under the share button. You see share, there's an entire button for Fearless right here, Fearless Tools and Resources. Maybe you can't even think of the words to say when you want to send the letter out that goes with it, right? So I wrote a letter for you that you literally can print off and just fill right in and send right in the package with it. I've got an entire Fearless script that you can train your team on. There's a video, some media elements that are free on the website. Here's the calendar right here. You just print that sucker off. Totally free. One of the other things that's in the back of Fearless is a build your oil collection graphic, because I always want them looking toward the next order. You don't want them looking at the box they already got on their floor. You want them looking at the next order. And so as they build their oil collection, they're going to be crossing off all the oils on their kit, right? We want their walls looking like that and looking like that, right? We want them to have all the oils. And they do that by crossing off the ones that they've already got. That's built right into the back of the Fearless books. They can cross it off as they're building their collection. So what are we doing? We're training in the lifestyle, simple swap, building their oils collection, training them on knowledge, right? Training them on the knowledge of aromatherapy. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. And it works. It took my ER percentages from 28% to 42% just using Fearless and training my team to use it. The Fearless books are completely updated with the new kit. Yes. All right. Any verbiage to share with people who are afraid of ordering monthly and getting on ER instead of quick order? Yeah. Hello. Don't you want free stuff? I like free stuff. What is there, like $200 plus of free oils for a $300 order this month? All right. Let me think this through. I'm going to hand you $300 and you're going to hand me $200 back, right? Oh, and give me like a bunch of free oil. Oh, and 10% back, and then 20% back after 4 months, and then 25% back after 25 months. Like, hello. I mean, I don't get that going to the grocery store or the gas station or any other place that I purchase anything. So the program for Essential Rewards is amazing. Amazing. Just show them the free stuff they get when they place their order. All right, last thing I want to tell you, then I'm going to let you go. And that's stepping outside of your comfort zone. I realize that one of the hardest things in this business is talking to people you don't know, standing in front of people, right? Standing in front of people and talking to them, and picking up a phone after they said they would do something like get a starter kit, and then talking to them on the phone, right? It's scary. It's scary picking up the phone and talking to people. It's terrifying, actually. And so let me just tell you a quick story about comfort zones, because I think it'll bless you. I didn't know that I was going to do a Young Living business until I was almost a platinum. Ooh, Lisa Carter says my team's ER went from 28% to 37% using Fearless. That's awesome. We have some crazy testimonies with Fearless. One lady wrote me and told me her ER percentages are up around 80% now because of Fearless. So it works. All right, so I'm sitting in the newsroom one day. I told you I've been a radio network news anchor for 22 years. Sitting there, and I'm almost a platinum in Young Living, still totally convinced I'm never going to do the business. I'm like, famous news anchor, sell Young Living starter kits, right? Famous news anchor, sell Young Living starter kits. And so, I had no desire to do the business at all. I didn't see where it went. I didn't catch the vision of the freedom for my family. I was sitting in the newsroom one day, and I had an intern, and she was shadowing me. She was 20 years old, and I'm 40 years old, so I'm twice her age. Totally just gave away my age there. And I'm trying to write, and it was a really bad writer's block day. I just couldn't think clearly. And I would write something, and I'd erase it, and write it, and I'd erase it. And I look at the clock, and it's 2 minutes to 7. And I look over at Lindsay, and she's breaking out in a cold sweat. She's literally got sweat going down the back of her neck. And she's like, Sarah, in 2 minutes, you got to turn that microphone on, and there's 5 million people listening, and that page is white. It's a white sheet of paper. What are you going to do? I said, I don't know. I got an idea of how I want to get into the newscast, but I can't think of the right words. And I look up on CNN, because we have TVs in our newsroom. And I look up on CNN, and it was exactly the way I was trying to get into the story. And so I start writing, and I'm just typing and typing and typing. I type super, super fast. And so I'm writing, and I get 10 stories written. I grab 7 pieces of tape. I throw it in there, and then the stinger goes off. It's my musical cue to sit down and start reading that newscast. I read that thing top down, no mistakes, turn that mic off. 5 million people have no idea what just happened on the other side of the microphone, that I almost didn't make it. And I lean back in my chair, and I got a little bit of an ego trip going, and I have this smug look on my face, and I look over at Lindsay. I look over at her, and she has a completely different look on her face, and she says, Sarah, you're doing the wrong thing with your life. You're not where you're supposed to be. And I said, what do you mean? She said, I just watch you put together a newscast in 2 minutes that would have taken me 3 hours to write. She goes, and you read it cold and you didn't make any mistakes. She goes, God is always calling us to be stretched outside of our comfort zones. We're always supposed to be stretched because otherwise we're taking the glory for ourselves and the glory is supposed to be going to him. It's not going to go to him if you're doing it all. It's going to go to him when he's doing it all, right? And so she said, you're just doing the wrong thing with your life. I think the Lord has already opened up another door for you and something else you should be doing. Maybe you should go consider doing that instead because you're not supposed to be in this newsroom. And for me, that was a punch in the face. That was a knife in the back. I could not get her words out of my head. And I realized the reason I was holding on to news was because it was comfortable for me. It's what I knew. I could write a newscast in my sleep. I wasn't stretched. I wasn't scared. I wasn't doing hard things every day. I wasn't stepping outside my comfort zone. It was a learning curve for me to walk out. It took me 4 months to get up the courage to walk in and tell the news director that I was coming off of morning drive, a position that I gave up my family for, that I gave up my friends for, that I moved 800 miles away from my hometown for, the town that I grew up in and that my parents lived in and my grandparents and my great-grandparents and 5 generations of my family. I moved across the whole country in extreme poverty, and I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I did this shift 52 weeks a year for 11 years. And before that, I worked in downtown Chicago for 11 years, killing myself at this shift that I thought was the only thing I could do. But you know what? I learned really quickly when I stepped off that shift that my identity is not news. My identity is not mom. My identity is not Young Living. My identity is not a diamond. My identity is Christ. My identity is in Jesus, right? That's where my identity comes from. That's where my hope comes from. It's not from a job. It's not from a title. It's not from what I think I can do. It's not from what I think I'm good at. It's definitely not from what I'm comfortable at doing, right? And so who's getting the glory when you're staying in your comfort zone? You are. You're getting the glory. Your identity is not wrapped up in what you do or what you know. Your identity belongs to a great and gracious God who gave you your gifts, gave you your talents, gave you your friend circles, gave you your sphere of influence, gave you your platform, gave you people that only you can reach. Get out there and go reach them. Stop being afraid. Stop being scared, because when you step out of your comfort zone, that's when God can really use you. That's when he can really, truly use you, because it's not about you. It's about him, right? All glory up. So I love you guys. That's my comfort zone story, and it's worth it. It's worth every minute of it. But the freedom is only yours if you do things that scare you a little bit, right? Freedom's only yours if you step outside your comfort zone and you go out and you kill this thing. You can talk to people. You can love people. You can read 3 pages on a couch, and you can pick up a phone and you can talk to people and care more about them than you do about your fear. All right? Stop doing the same things you've been doing for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. You're not crossing anything off your bucket list because you're not where you're supposed to be, right? You're not where you're supposed to be. So just remember who you are. Remember whose you are. Remember how amazing you are, and that amazingness comes from an incredible creator who loves you so much. He will never leave you. He will never forsake you, but your identity is not in what you do for work. It took me a really long time to figure that out. I stepped off my anchoring shift, and there are still days where I get pangs where I miss it so much. I miss it so much. I still fill in because I love it. It's in my blood, but it doesn't own me anymore. It doesn't dictate my identity or who I am. I know who I am, right? I'm a daughter of the King. That's who I am, and that's who you are. So, all right, I want you to go do your homework for tonight. I think I went 30 minutes again tonight. I'm so sorry. I'm trying so hard to do these in 20 minutes. I think I would just say 30-minute videos instead. Pop on your game plan workbook. This is where we tailor the whole thing to you. And I want you to do the worksheets for week 9 and week 10. And then be ready for boot camp tomorrow. We're going to go one more day before I give you a break. If you don't have your book yet, it's okay. You can get it on Amazon. Let me show you where it's at. Amazon, it's right here. You want to make sure you get the one with the blue line on the top, the 2nd edition. Otherwise, you're getting the wrong edition. So the book and workbook are up there, or you can go to shop and get them half off on my website, oilabilityteam.com. Okay, and you'll see all the books right there, and it'll save you quite a bit getting them right there. But Whew. All right. You got one more day in you for this week. Then we're officially half through. I know change is scary. It really is, but hope isn't. I love what you said, Faith. Yes, change is scary, but hope isn't. And you have so much hope. You have so much to look forward to. You have so many things ahead of you, okay? Stay focused on the things that matter. I had one woman write me and she's like, Sarah, I'm not building a business because I don't want to leave my babies. I said, this is the freedom for your babies. You get out there and commit 2 hours a week to getting out of where you are, because that 2 hours a week is going to prevent you from having to drop those babies off at a daycare to go work another job, right? It's about priorities. You're spending more than 2 hours a week on Facebook. Cut that out and go teach a class, right? Douse yourself in abundance oil. And remember, there's a great big God who loves you, who's never going to leave you, who's never going to forsake you, right? He's the one that orders your days, and that's where your identity comes from. So get out there and do something that scares you this week, because this is worth fighting for. You are worth fighting for. Your family is worth fighting for, right? Don't forget that. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow night, all right?